Welcome back to the United States men's national team friendly presented by EA Sports FIFA 15. United States leading Ecuador by a 1-0 scored by Mix Discarud. But of course, the headline story, the farewell of Landon Donovan, who I think showed a nice sign of self-deprecating humor there in his interview with the guys at halftime. Can't score anymore, he said.
There's one thing, though, that both you and I watching it, we both said it at the same time. He looks happy. He looks content.
Yep, he does. He's very content with his decision going forward and says this is the right time to go. He is only 32, but it's a personal decision and you have to respect it, don't you?
He's done that his entire career. He's been criticized all week long, all season long, all career long about not going to Europe. He's done everything his way. And I think when Landon Donovan is 60, 65 years old and reflects on it, that's all that matters. The only thing that matters is that Landon Donovan is content with how he did things and what he did. It doesn't matter what is good for Ian Darke or Taylor Twellman. None of that matters. What matters is what was good for Landon Donovan, and hopefully he's content in what he did and how he did it.
Yep, he ends with 157 caps and 57 goals, 58 assists, which means that in all those caps there are only 42 matches, I make it, where he didn't either make or score a goal. That's going some, isn't it?
It's an unbelievable record when you say that. And then you don't even get into the Major League Soccer records that he owns. He was a special player for a long time for the United States, and it's part of growth. Now we move on.
And he'll be an interested spectator to see how the next generation fare. A few of them out there in the white shirts of the United States here. Some good attacking flair. They've made a change, Ecuador. I noticed bringing on the Major League Soccer striker from Real Salt Lake, João Plata. He's got 13 goals for Real Salt Lake this season. He must be one of the smallest strikers in the world. I think he's only 5'2", isn't he?
It's just a shrewd pickup from Real Salt Lake to take him from Toronto FC. Sabarillo broke his foot right before the World Cup. João Plata has been a huge part of Real Salt Lake's success this season, Ian.
Now he's looking to cause problems to some defenders he'll know pretty well. I thought Ecuador were unlucky at the World Cup. They would have gone through to the knockout stages, but for conceding a goal in the, I think it was the 91st minute in their first game against Switzerland. In the end, when they did the maths, that was vital in the outcome of the group. A game they'd led in as well. They did draw 0-0 with France in their final game, which wasn't a bad result, but it wasn't enough. Here's Joe Corona, a player who will always be able to say, you know, Donovan's farewell game, I was the guy who came on to take his place. He'll hope to do a little more than that, mind you, in his career. He's going well in the Mexican League at the moment. He's for Tijuana, just across the border.
But another player like Mix Discarud that Jurgen Klinsmann all day yesterday was talking about needs to bring in the defensive side of things, not just floating around in the middle looking for possession.
That's Cazares playing it forward. It was well intercepted. Here's Bobby Wood, who showed one or two nice touches after coming on in the first half. Nearly set up a goal. Bedoya, player of Colombian descent, who's more or less a fixture in the side just at the moment. Altidore with a good-looking ball there, and, well, there could have been something for Corona there had he got his shot away a little quicker.
I'll tell you, one player tonight that has shown up is Jozy Altidore with his hold-up play, his running off the ball. It's been his recognition of the type of runs, not the easy one that's right in front of him, but the second more dynamic run to lay it off to Landon Donovan, hit the post in the first half, and then Joe Corona here. Good hold-up play from Jozy Altidore.
You talk about all of Landon Donovan's caps. Jozy Altidore's got 72, and he's still only 24. Not much doubt. I think he'll be certainly getting the century up, and maybe way beyond that. Corona it is, about to take the through. He has got a couple of goals already in his 12 caps for the US. This is number 13. Agree with you about Altidore. He looks just glad to get a game, doesn't he, after all his problems. And Corona's got another opportunity, and Wood is in there as well. And the ball would not come down for him to finish it, Bobby Wood. It's Plata. Almost an elfin-like build, but he's very strong and pacey. Here's Cazares. He's finding some interesting positions. Wide of the post from Ana Valencia. Well, it's good that Landon Donovan has not packed his bags and got in his car and driven off. At the end of it, he's there with the rest of the squad, seeing how it turns out. Greg Garza. Now, you were telling me before the game, Garza's played in all the age group teams for the last 10 years or so, all the way through to the senior team. That's a great continuity, isn't it?
It's amazing, and for the last 10 years, he's been part of the national team program all along the way, starting with the inaugural under-14 program under the United States. So when you really talk about it, Greg Garza with the United States Soccer Federation, and you ask the coaches within the program, they've known about him for 10 years. But for U.S. soccer fans, this is only his second cap. And to be honest with you, Ian, watching the first half, I love his movement. I love his awareness. Only his second cap. The situation, it wasn't too big for him. I think tonight he's been very impressive to finish the game off in a positive note and hopefully get some more looks in the future, because that is a position, if you want Fabian Johnson to play more forward in the attacking zone, they need a left back. And in saying that, watch, DeMarcus Beasley will play till he's like 55.
Garza, who comes from the splendidly named Grapevine, Texas. You can add your own jokes and musical accompaniment there, I think. Is Mix Diskerud. Got the goal in the 5th minute. Should have been more since, but they haven't been. Timmy Chandler. Well, that was a bit of comic cuts over there, and Chandler's taken another tumble. Can Ecuador develop this attack quickly? So much of the game these days seems to be built around pace, power, dynamism on the break. Teams who don't have those qualities struggle a little bit. Paredes plays this one inside to Christian Noboa. Noboa, who plays his football for Dynamo Moscow in Russia, and he's married a Russian girl as well. Diskerud. Diskerud's only 24. Going forward, he'll look to be a key creative influence in the US midfield. Here's João Plata, giving Chandler a run for his money. There's that burst of pace and acceleration. Raul Salt Lake man plays it inside to Cazares. I must say, I like the look of him. He should have scored, but he's in a little bundle of mischief for most of the game. Now wearing the number 11 shirt. Here he is on the ball now. Noboa. Didn't quite work out that time, as Plata made a run forward. Ecuador just about unbeatable at home in Quito, playing at high altitude, but they did enough on the road. They didn't win on the road in South American qualification, but they had enough points to make sure they came through that very, very tough qualification to make it to Brazil. It's a great competition in its own right, I always think, in the South American qualifying. Corona is Yedlin. Brought down. That has to be a free kick. It might be a yellow card as well here. Yeah, I thought it would be for Frickson Erazo.
And Ian, in the first half, we saw that relationship with Yedlin in front of Chandler. It almost looks like Yedlin feels more comfortable when he has the freedom to roam forward. Not so much responsibility of worrying what's behind him. We saw him cut inside in the first half, combined with Bedoya, and then here, timing his run over the top for a good ball from Timmy Chandler.
He looks a natural to me for some team who's playing three at the back with wing backs, Yedlin.
He reminds me a lot of Rafael from Manchester United. Not a natural defending right fullback, but someone who's very explosive going forward.
And then this is a nice angle for the left foot of Greg Garza. Good compliment to him that he's getting the left-footed set pieces tonight, even though it's only his second cap.
And someone from the United States has to get in front of Castillo at that near post.
Yeah, run across the line of the ball. That's the general idea.
But you see Brooks, it's right in front of Castillo there.
Garza will be disappointed that Ecuador were able to cut that out before it arrived into the danger area. Here's the United States corner kick. Altidore went up for it, didn't quite get on the end of it, and that's very poor defending from Ecuador, who needed 4 attempts to clear it. And we're a bit lucky that didn't drop to a white shirt. They've looked a bit dodgy at the back, as they say, the South Americans here. Corona. Harmless in the end. The goalkeeper Banguera made one brilliant save in the first half to deny DeAndre Yedlin. Slightly unfamiliar role for Yedlin there on the right of midfield, but something probably worth a try. And at this stage in the cycle, Jurgen Klinsmann can afford to experiment.
That's also what caught everyone's attention at the World Cup, wasn't it? DeAndre Yedlin bombing forward in the second half of games. I think Jurgen wants to see him in that role from the onset of a game. And see if he can play in front of a Timmy Chandler right back.
Corona. That's a misplaced pass, and it could be costly. Valencia, 3 against 3 for the moment. Can they make something of this? Here's Cazares for Ecuador. Just lost his footing at a vital moment. He'll still get a shot away, though. And the USA grateful to clear that in the end. That all came from a loose pass from Corona. Now, Bobby Wood. That's well played. Very well watched. Good defending by the 19-year-old Kanga.
And on the other end, great recovery run from John Brooks there. The moment Bedoya slips, Brooks has to recover quickly and then keep Cazares in front of him. Well done.
Brooks is having a bit of a rough time with his club Hertha Berlin. He's out in the cold just at the moment, having to kick his heels. The word is he'll be back in the first team squad at least, not necessarily in the team after this international break, but he's got some work to do. And after that heady moment at the World Cup in more ways than one, his headline-grabbing winner against Ghana. Skarud under pressure. He did well there. Building from the back well, the USA. Gaza. Looks confident enough, doesn't he?
He looks very confident going forward, and in particular in tight spaces, Ian. But now when he gets caught forward in these spots, in these positions, he has to recover quickly.
Needs to get back in position here. He's Skarud. Made his debut just after the last World Cup in South Africa. First Cup, he got to meet Nelson Mandela when he was still alive. Flag stayed down there. Just as well Brad Guzan was alive to that and not hesitating. Gonzalez, the debutant. Noboa plays the 1-2 with Valencia. Paredes. Gonzalez needs to be better than that to cause a problem for Brooks and the US defense. Home record under Jurgen Klinsmann, USA, 23 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws. It's impressive. Now then, there's room here for Bedoya. Yedlin to his outside. Now that's a disappointment. But again, the Ecuador defense made a present of the ball back again, given the chance to clear. Chandler's good ball in, nearly for Altidore. It's a great ball by Timmy Chandler. See you later from Paredes. Good entertainment here. Ene Valencia. Couldn't go past 3 of them. Surely is a foul by Corona, and it might be more than a foul. Is he going to give a yellow for that? Yep, it's coming out. And he was on the cynical side. He can't complain. The US men's national team friendly here, presented by EA Sports FIFA 15. Feel the game, rated E for everyone. Looks like a whole bunch of substitutions coming up for the USA here. We're going to see Alfredo Morales. He's been in very good form, by the way, and might be one to watch. Omar Gonzalez will move into that defense, and Tim Ream's going to get a run out here as well. Orozco's going to come off, Bedoya's coming off, and Brooks is going to come off. Morales was one of those players singled out for special mention, the progress he's been making playing in Germany with Ingolstadt, who are not in the Bundesliga. He's moved down a division, but he said he's seen him in training. He looks a different player, much more belief. Yep, he's played in all 9 games for Ingolstadt. He scored in the opener. He looks more confident even in training yesterday. You could see it, and that was the one thing Jurgen Klinsmann even said about Alejandro Bedoya, for that matter, and Mixed Diskerud. When the new cycle begins and players like this, John Brooks, had a little bit of success, go to the World Cup, or even motivated by not playing in the World Cup as a Mixed Diskerud did, or Alfredo Morales didn't go there, there's a little leadership transition here. And I think Jurgen Klinsmann yesterday was very intriguing to hear him say Alfredo Morales and Alejandro Bedoya in this camp have really shown to have some real strong leadership qualities. Yeah, thanks, Taylor. No substitutions, by the way, fueled by Gatorade. And here's Gonzalez for Ecuador, who've looked to threat, and Cazares dragged his shot wide. It wasn't that great an effort. It was a long way off target, Taylor. Well, now the hardest thing coming into the game when you're Tim Ream and Omar Gonzalez is now coming in. You never change 2 center backs in a big game, but in a friendly you do. Now you got to get into the game very quickly here. When you're athletic as Ecuador is, now it's a problem in front of Brad Guzan. I do like the look of this Juan Cazares, though, wearing the number 11 for Ecuador. He plays for Banfield in Argentina. He got a goal recently in the 4-0 win over Bolivia on his debut. He should have had one tonight, too.
Well, and anytime you play underneath a player like Valencia, Ian, that can stretch the back line, you'll find tons of space underneath those two center backs and underneath Enter Valencia. And Cazares has done a wonderful job tonight of finding those pockets. By the way, how is that not a corner?
Yeah, I know. You won't get a chance to ask the referee about it, that's for certain. There might be 1 or 2 changes going on in football, but I think you might have to wait about another century before you'll get the referees to explain any decisions. Maybe it's for the best.
For them.
Here's Kanga. Getting a run in the Ecuador side. I have to say that defence wouldn't be totally convincing for the interim coach Sixto Vizuete, his second spell in charge. Took over after the World Cup from Reinaldo Rueda. There's Castillo. Nearly made it to the World Cup after his cruciate injury, but not quite. They named him and then had to pull him out of the squad.
Well, you and I were watching that game together. That was a nasty tackle with Luis Montes of Mexico.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our Continental Tire Analyst Corner with Taylor Twellman alongside me.
Ian, I know the big storyline tonight is the celebration of a great career in Landon Donovan, but tonight is also about another World Cup cycle. And in looking back over the last 2 World Cup cycles, the first 3 friendlies after the World Cup, there have been early signs of roster transition. Immediately after the World Cup ends, you and I are talking, what are we talking about? Assuming players are going to be there 4 years from now, and then you also see players early on in their international career. We saw it in Prague, we saw it tonight, and we'll see it in Honduras Tuesday.
There's a massive chance there for Bobby Wood. Sorry to cut across you, Taylor, on the volley, and he might there quite easily have had his first US goal. He's one of the players you're talking about being introduced.
Exactly. Morales coming forward, and then Bobby Wood sneaking in on that back post, trying to get on the end of it. But Ian, when you do look back at the last 2 World Cup cycles, in these first 3 friendlies, the likes of Michael Bradley, Benny Feilhaber, and last cycle, Alejandro Bedoya, Omar Gonzalez, who are going to be those players that in Russia we say, in those first 3 friendlies, we saw them, and then who are going to be those players that we said, oh my goodness, they're not going to Russia?
Yeah, well, we need a crystal ball to work all that out along the way, because so much can happen between then and now. Some of the players will just drop by the wayside. Others will come through. There'll be players we haven't even heard of, I suspect, yet, who will be part of the shake-up come Russia in 2018. First of all, we've got to qualify again.
But it's also a reminder that, yeah, it's only October 10, 2014, but the introduction of a player starting in a World Cup 4 years from now could be on the field tonight.
That's Noboa, and the flag's up. This will not count. Plata does put it in the net anyway. I don't think the ref's going to book him for that. Shouldn't do, really. Whistle had pretty clearly gone. Let's have a look. Was it offside?
I don't think he was.
No, he's not, is he?
He's not. Look at Tim Reed.
Oh, crikey. There's about a yard and a half he's onside by.
But Ian, that's the problem when you make substitutions in friendlies like this. You make 2 center back substitutions. Omar Gonzalez steps forward. Tim Reed drops 2 yards behind Timmy Chandler. He was onside.
Got away with one there, the US, no question. Screwed rather just got underneath it, helped forward by Alfredo Morales. Here's the break for Ecuador. When are they going to make one of these count, you wonder? It's Valencia. It's good defending by Gonzalez, making sure he got in the way of it, and nicely tenacious from Gaza too. Noboa, not quite accurate enough. Goal scoring can be a bit of a problem at times for Ecuador. They only scored 20 in their 16 World Cup qualifiers and only 5 away from home. If the World Cup had been held in Quito at high altitude, they might have won it. This is quite a test here, I think, for this changed USA defence. There's been a lot of rearrangement of the deck chairs. Segundo Castillo. I remember him playing for Everton and Wolves in his time in England. Been around a bit, 84th cap here. Free kick for Ecuador. It might have been an advantage played quite easily there, because I hope he had got away with the ball. Morales doing the defending and doing just about enough. The referee on the scene saw nothing wrong with that. Morales thought he was fouled, I think, in that incident. Had a word with the referee. Paredes looking for the 1-2 down this side. Good work by the teenager, Kanga. Omar Gonzalez at the second attempt doesn't really clear it. Predictably, just a bit of loss of rhythm from the US with all those changes at one go. Chandler. It's quite a run, this, from Timmy Chandler, and on he goes. Was he fouled? No. Referee had a look at that. Waves play on. Gonzalez, and that's a poor ball, really, for Paredes. He's never going to get that as quick as he is.
What a great run from Timmy Chandler, though, getting forward in his own defensive half, but he gets in front of the defender, and right here in this moment, no foul for me.
Now there's the US bench. I'd call those half-hearted appeals, really. You've always got to go up for them. It was hard to see any real contact. It looked a bit more like a loss of balance. Plata to Valencia. Now that's going to be a free kick, a little bit too physical from Jose Altidore. Euro 26 qualifying continues on ESPN2. Monday 2:30 Eastern, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina are hosting Belgium, and then Tuesday 2:30 Denmark against Portugal in Group I. Those matches also available on the Watch ESPN app as well. And what about Spain losing to Slovakia?
What does it matter, Ian? What does it matter? Think about it, though. Everyone qualifies now.
Oh, they won't all qualify.
Oh, come on.
Don't spoil the story.
Third place teams qualify.
The stoppage here, by the way, is because somebody wants to make a spectacle of themselves. We're not going to show it in the usual way. Landon seems amused anyway. I think he's happy with everything tonight, isn't he, though? Gonzalez with the header away. He went into the World Cup carrying a little bit of an injury, but I think once he was used, he was pretty good, wasn't he? I thought he had a good World Cup. Gaza, important. That's very good positional sense by the new left back there, getting across and covering, because Gonzalez could have got in behind.
Well, and that was the biggest question going into the World Cup, Ian, wasn't it? Who would be the center back pairing? In the first two games, Jeff Cameron, the first game was good against Ghana, but in the second game against Portugal had 2 mistakes. And then I thought Omar Gonzalez was very good. Listen, Omar Gonzalez is very good in emergency defending. We saw that against Germany. We saw that against Belgium. But against a center forward like Valencia tonight, who's got real pace that can stretch the back line, that's where Omar Gonzalez needs someone next to him on the same page at all times.
It's a good run from Bobby Wood. It was intercepted, but the attack lives on. And now Altidore. Now, could he have brought that down? Chested it down and shot himself, I wonder.
He should have brought it down, Ian. But when Josie's not continuously playing and getting game moments like that, and those moments are only in training, there's a big difference. Against Nigeria before the World Cup, what would he have done there? Brought it down with his chest and buried it.
But those 2 goals he got against Nigeria, the only ones he scored in his last 8 games for the US. That was horrible what happened to him at the World Cup as well. Players live for competitions like that, and his World Cup lasted for 21 minutes before he pulled up with that horrible looking hamstring injury. I think we knew there in our heart of hearts we wouldn't see him again in the tournament, and we didn't.
Well, and also the effect it had on teams. I mean, Clint Dempsey playing out of position, it ended up pushing Michael Bradley in a position that wasn't his strong suit. Who would have thought that injury to Josie Altidore completely changed the complexion of that team?
Yeah, in that regard, he was probably the last person that Jurgen Klinsmann needed to get injured.
But that's also why there was criticism to Jurgen Klinsmann in his roster selection for not having a backup to Josie Altidore.
And the captain's armband is passed as well here to Chris Wondolowski, who was a late call-up into this squad. And on he comes. Of course, he had that sliding doors moment in the last minute against Belgium after the heroic rearguard action and Tim Howard's wonder show. Wondolowski could have won it right at the death, but couldn't take a pretty gilt-edged opportunity. Tim Ream, now of Bolton Wanderers. The US have been ahead here since the 5th minute of the game. If you're late joining us, Landon Donovan played for 41 minutes and came agonizingly close to ending his career with yet another US goal. It wasn't quite to be. He had one which bounced back off the inside of the post, but that was as good as it got. Noboa, good ball. Gonzalez in a bit of space. Other yellow shirts arriving. This, I think, is going to go for a corner. No, it's determined not to go out. It's full instead to Noboa. Paredes. Looked like a foul by Wondolowski on him, but the referee plays play on. Iobi. It's a great run from the left back. Cazares, corner. Been quite a bit of Ecuador pressure, nothing very clear cut in the second half. And that's good defending from Gaza again, who's taken the eye on his home debut in the national shirt. Noboa. Right after the end of this game, be sure to go to ESPNFC.com to watch our live post-game show. That's ESPN FC Boot Room Extra. We'll have a full recap of the match featuring your Twitter questions and comments, which you can submit using the hashtag FCBootRoom. That's all after the end of proceedings. There might be the odd question about Landon Donovan. I'm not sure.
You think?
Chance, isn't there? Kanga wide to Paredes. Over 40 caps for the right back. Been the first choice there for the last 3 years or so. That's well played by Chris Wondolowski. Lovely little cushion layoff. Just a little cameo. Diskerud's got some space here. Yedlin to his right. He thought about the shot and then, it was not the ball that Mix Diskerud was looking for. Yedlin had no chance with that.
It's ironic, Ian, that you and I are talking about Chris Wondolowski, the miss against Belgium, but then last night at dinner, you and I were talking about the World Cup hangover. Since the World Cup's ended, Chris Wondolowski has 9 goals, 4 assists for San Jose. He's been one of the few players that kind of owned up to that mistake, that huge miss, and got right back at it. He's been one of the few players from the United States after the World Cup that's been in good form.
You take your hat off to him. I mean, Jurgen Klinsmann is full of praise for his professionalism and attitude. You just have to live with that. He's always going to wake up a few nights thinking about that chance. I think he will for the rest of his life, really, but it's great the way he's got on with it.
He won't forget it. Of course he won't forget it, but I felt when he tweeted immediately, it showed accountability. I thought it showed some maturity, and it also started the process of healing for him, because make no mistake about it, any goal scorer misses a chance like that, he won't forget that for the rest of his life.
In a game like that as well, because if he'd have scored it, his name would have been nationally known and probably up in lights in Times Square within seconds. And he'd have been on every chat show going. Funny the way life works out sometimes. But as you say, he's not complaining about it. Corona's ball to Bobby Wood. Morales, who's sitting in that deeper position in midfield. He is more your conventional number 6 type in there. Somebody just to hold the fort. I think really in the decisive game against Belgium at the World Cup, if we're honest with you, the US rather lacked somebody doing that on the night. All history now. Gonzalez, Ecuador probing, looking for this equaliser. It won't quite happen for them. Valencia. Noboa. And again, there's no beating Brad Guzan, who made a couple of big saves in the first half and seems to make clean sheets a bit of a speciality when he does get his chance for the US. Came within 8 minutes of keeping out Manchester City's forwards last weekend. It was a bit heartbreaking the way that happened for Aston Villa. Heroic action, but City grabbed it late. Joe Corona. DeAndre Yedlin. Good idea. Timmy Chandler. But Frickson Erazo was there to mop it up for Ecuador. This is a win, if the US get it, worth having against a side who made it to the World Cup finals themselves. It's the only one of the 29 friendlies going on today between two sides who were in Brazil. Look at Valencia here. Just wanted to overcomplicate it a bit. I think he fancied a spectacular solo goal.
Good defending from DeAndre Yedlin to stay committed with the play, even though Valencia drifted inside, to stay with him and stay with the play. Good, mature defending from the young kid.
And don't forget, you'll get a chance to see Landon Donovan again playing for LA Galaxy, who are going great guns at the moment. They go to FC Dallas on Sunday. That's the MLS Game of the Week, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, and also live on the Watch ESPN app. So Landon Donovan, he might be finished for the USA. He's not finished for LA Galaxy yet, and he could get yet another record, couldn't he? 6 MLS Cups.
Well, in 2 big games tonight, too, because you look at Seattle playing tonight against Vancouver, Sporting KC playing Chicago. But when you look at it, at the last 2 regular season games of the year, Seattle takes on the LA Galaxy. When you look at it, they're the 2 best teams right now in Major League Soccer.
Well, the goal came early in this game, and Donovan was involved in it. Discarud scored it. It happened like this. Seems a long time ago.
Well, and the play started with a great recognition from Greg Garza to take a quick free kick to get Joe Jow and Landon Donovan going forward. And then what we've seen time and time again from Mix Discarud is coming in late and finishing plays off. Great goal from Mix Discarud.
Been a few injuries in the game, and there's going to be a whole raft of substitutions now from Ecuador. They're going to bring on Junior Sornosa, who's been starting a bit of late. And we're going to see Carlos Gruezo, the midfield player as well, who plays for Stuttgart, the German Bundesliga team. And Luis Fernando Leon, who is a defender from Independiente. Erazo's gone off, Cazares has gone off, and Castillo has gone off. I'm glad someone else is keeping a track of all this, because we'll be asking questions later. It is a very confusing thing in these friendlies, because it's sort of half the players on the pitch change in the last 20 minutes, it seems. Still a game to be won, though. Don't forget, we'll bring you the USA's next friendly on Tuesday from Florida against Honduras.
And I'd expect to see some changes to the roster, too. Not because of the injury to Joe Jow, even before that, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see 4 or 5 players come in.
We'll see.
So we're medical.
Did you bring your sunscreen for Florida, Ian?
Is it still warm down there then? I don't know about the climate down in Florida this time of year.
I don't want you to go back to England
weatherman,
looking
aren't
like
you?
a tomato.
I better buy some then. Valencia around the corner. Work to do for Omar Gonzalez. It was a difficult bounce, and here's a wonderful jump. Well, what a block by Tim Ream. That is to deny João Plata. Brilliant piece of defending by Ream. It seemed they had to equalise. And that was as good as a goal. Well, that's deflected, and it has gone in. It's Valencia's effort. It took a huge deflection. Nothing at all Brad Guzan could do about that, and Ecuador are level.
But the play right before from that man, Tim Ream, was a great recovery run to see Plata right in front of Guzan, and he recovers. But what we've seen over the last 10 to 15 minutes in this game, Ian, is the game's opened up, and it's given Ecuador some chances going forward.
It comes off Ream as well. How luckless is that? Because he did perform absolute heroics, unwitting and wrong-footed Guzan.
Ian, I'm not 100% sure that ball touches Tim Ream. I am not 100% sure that ball touches Tim Ream. That ball dipped, and he hit it with the outside part of his foot. Either way, that's Valencia's goal.
Oh, it's Valencia's goal, all right. He was on target. We'll take another look at it, but Diskerud tried to break through as the US tried to grab the lead again. It certainly did something very, very weird on its journey. If he could make it do that, he was almost making the ball talk. We'll take another look. We need to see the initial reading.
As you see this, Ian, this ball's hit. That ball doesn't touch Tim Ream. That ball does not touch Tim Ream.
Well, that's extraordinary. That is absolutely extraordinary, because Guzan is 3 yards the other way. Quite a dramatic finish. Ream clears this time. Diskerud couldn't control it. Here's Gonzalez. Ecuador think they might be able to win this now. Plata cuts it back. Diskerud gets it away. Gruezo's shot was blocked. The USA just might have a little bit of work to do late on here. Noboa. Here's the cross. Garza gets it away. Just clinging on a little, the US, but that's not going to be a problem that time for Guzan. Four minutes of added time. Ream under pressure from the predatory Valencia. Did he perform a magic trick with that shot? It looked like that. Here come Ecuador again. They've got Paredes down injured, and they'll put it out of play. I think the USA just need that breather as well at the moment. The goal looked to have something of a freak quality about it. Or did it? Or was it, it was something special the way Valencia hit that? I mean, it looked for all the world as it happened, as if it must have deflected somewhere.
Yeah, I think right when he hit it, the ball knuckled. But it was the play before that, Ian, where the United States were sloppy. Plata got caught in front of Guzan, wide open. If not for Tim Ream, that could have been the goal there. This game, since the substitutions have opened up for the United States, Ecuador has had some chances going forward.
Well, he performed heroics with the first block. There's no question about that.
But what's going to bother Jurgen Klinsmann is the fact that you're 25, 30 yards from goal, and there's no pressure on the ball, and Valencia is allowed to hit that easily.
The added time will go on a little longer, I think, than the 4 minutes. Pineda's just come on to replace Paredes late on. That goal will go to Valencia. It'll be his 9th goal in his 16th cap. After the end of this game, the 25th ranked Stanford hosts Washington State in a Pac-12 game. It's presented by Jimmy John's live from Stanford, California. We'll have complete coverage on ESPN FC and ESPN 3 on our Boot Room Extra from here. Cut out by Morales. I think all the substitutions have rather disrupted the US's rhythm rather more than Ecuador's. Noboa. It's been all Ecuador late on, really. They got a late goal when they won against the USA in Klinsmann's 5th match in charge. Now then, that's bounced off Bobby Wood. There's a bit of defending. Wood could win it here. Maybe he's got Wondolowski in there as well. And it's cleared just about. They seem they had to score there. Corona's in there now. Well, goodness me. The USA had the chance there to wrap it up with 94 minutes on the clock.
But it's not convincing enough from Bobby Wood. He does all the hard work here. This isn't good enough. Slot it to Chris Wondolowski early or have a shot yourself, kid. You're in one-on-one, but just to flick it with the outside part of your right foot, he wasn't 100% convinced with the decision he made, and it showed.
Shake of the head there. Bobby Wood could have been the glory boy on the night that Landon Donovan said farewell to United States football with his 157th and final appearance. He hit the post. Might have been a different story had that one gone in. As it was, Nick Stiskerud gave US the lead and Enner Valencia equalized. Final thoughts from you, Taylor?
First and foremost, it's a night to celebrate the great career of Landon Donovan, but then there's also a thought here for the injury to Joe Zhao. How serious is that injury? And then assessing young players, Greg Garza, Alfredo Morales, move on to Tuesday against Honduras and Florida.
In Boot Room Extra, we'll have the chance again to talk to Landon Donovan on his reflections on this last appearance. Coming up next, it's Washington State at Stanford. And join us Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN for the big MLS game, FC Dallas hosting LA Galaxy. Quite an emotional, sad night. Don't go away. We've got Landon Donovan coming up. But for the moment, for Ian Darke, Taylor Twellman, Alexi Lalas, Casey Keller, and Monica Gonzalez, it is Ian Darke. Thanks for joining us. It's been a presentation of ESPN.